Welcome, guys, to the Daily Show. I have a bunch of great stock setups for you today. Markets are doing really well. We are going still up in this channel here that seems to be holding long term. We do have a good support here down at 645 on the SPY. However, we are getting to the top of the channel, so we may see some profit taking. But the big thing we need to watch out for is tomorrow. We have at 2 p.m. the FOMC. Now, it could go a couple ways. We could get that quarter basis point cut and, the market will be okay. We just continue to chop sideways and up here. We could get a half point, less likely. And that could be either good news or bad news on how you perceive it. It could, make the markets optimistic that the Fed is doing more sooner, people could think, well, the Fed is really backed up here, and the jobs are getting weaker, and then sends a wave of panic. But so far, market seems to be ahead of the FOMC. Today was a just small candle here, a little chop, and not much going on. However, we have some other great stocks I'm going to show you here. But first, let's take a quick look at the Qs. Similar to the SPY, we have a support here at 583, a little bit closer than where the SPY support is. But good. We're in the middle of the channel. We got room to play here, continuing up. Here's the Rockstar Tesla. This one, I called it out to you guys, told you we had a pennant formation here. We had a breakout, a retest. I did try and take a long here, thinking we were gonna, get the pop. It didn't happen. We got below this value area here, point of control, where we have a big volume node here. And I told everybody, if we manage to get above this red line here at 344, it's gonna shoot up, because there is no resistance in this area. This is your resistance line all the way up to here. And what happened is I got the big pop. I sold most of it as we were getting closer to this resistance level. And then, I just, once it popped through, I took it off. Now, it still may have some room to go up here in this channel I've drawn, and I'll show you how I got that. Over back here in January, this is a top area. This is the top of the channel. And here you have this bottom here and right here. So you can see that these levels, they've reacted over and over here. So the expectation would be we'd see something similar unless it were to break out of here, and then we could go to highs. Long term, I am pretty bullish on Tesla, but I am personally going to wait for a pullback. If we chop around here for a bit, it stabilizes, getting ready for the next leg. I might get back in. However, there is a chance that we could get a little pullback down here because we have a gap at around $400. So, one scenario here is that it could just come down, fill this gap, and then straight up, right? Next up, BMNR, Bitmine Immersion Technologies, and I know this is a lot of people are getting into this one, and it's not seeming to get much coverage, even though Tommy's company and all. It's been pretty quiet, and this, of course, has to do with how quiet the crypto market has been. But I am going to get in depth this time on crypto because something is building. We have pressure building in the cooker, and it's going to pop any day now. So just sticking first to BMNR. Let me get this up here like that so we can see it a little bit better. We had this crazy pop here, and I think there was some dilution to buy Ethereum, yada, yada. We came back up here. We found a resistance level. You'll see that it, kind of coincides with this level here. And then we came down and we got this little pop here, and people thought, okay, this is the next leg up, and it wasn't. I got faked out on that myself. However, it came down, we got patient, and I waited for, I said there's a support zone here. You see how long we sat here, how many candles we sat at 39.52. So, I waited until we got down to here, and I took an entry off of this low. And as soon as we got through this 46.75 area where we have the high volume, because this acts as resistance, it will act as, see here, it acted as support, and then here it could act as resistance. You'll see here with the wicks, you can tell that we tried to get through it once and twice, and both time it wicked. So I said, once we get through this, this is where I would add. So, starter position down here, add it into it. I think this is looking pretty good up to $80. And the reason I arrived at $80, this is a Fibonacci level, the 1.0. This is my, ultimate target. As this continues to go up, I'm going to scale out. So, we have here a little bit of resistance here. I'll take some off, a little bit here, and then the remainder I'll take off up here. Overall, BMNR looking pretty good. All right, next we got AFRM, and I actually really like this chart. This is a very strong looking chart we have here. So we have a long-term uptrend spanning back all the way from April. Very strong price movement. And we have this level here at $82 that we was kind of like resistance, well, a little bit lower around here, around 80.56. And once we broke through that, we had this massive pop, had a pullback to support, and then now we're pushing up again. That is like textbook uptrend. You break a level, you have a retrace to the where the previous resistance was, which would be now your support, and then you see a reaction off of it, and that just confirms that this is still in an uptrend. As you can see today, it chopped, and that's why we have this big wick. It opened and it went really low and then came back up, and it stopped right at this resistance level here now, where this big red candle was. This is just probably waiting on the FOMC tomorrow. Once the news is out of the way and the anxiety is out of the way, this thing should just pop. I would say probably up to 100 or so. I'm long in this already. Somewhere around like low 80s here is where I got in, and still riding it up. NVIDIA. So this has been going sideways for a bit. We had this really big pop, exciting pop here in the middle, and since then it's just been consolidating. Now, is there a setup here for us or not? Well, a couple things you gotta notice. First, you have this gap down here that has a 75% chance of being filled. Do you want to wait for it, hope that it comes down, or do you take the long here? Personally, I would wait it out. We could get a scenario where it fills the gap and then goes to attack this resistance level here at 179, so 180. And if it breaks that, we go through. Another scenario is it could just start pumping after the FOMC meeting tomorrow. I'm not touching it until it breaks this level. The moment we get a breakout of the 175 here, this is my signal to go long on this. And your stop could be 175. So very tight play. And if we break through, you probably have a bunch of people trying to short it, whatever up here. You're gonna hit that. They're gonna have to cover, and it's just gonna burst right through. So just being patient with this one. Rumble, I don't typically trade this, but I saw it today. It was trending for some reason, so I decided to take a look, see what was going on. A lot of big history on this chart, so a lot of action. So I'm going to switch over to our weekly. So as you can see here, we have this double bottom forming, right? Coincides with this level as well here. And last time we got down here, it it went, look how crazy it went. It went up to like $17. So, considering that we are forming this double bottom here, I think this is worth a shot long. However, let me show you just one thing here. We have this resistance level right here at 806. I bought some of this. If it breaks through this level, I'm going to add into it and just ride it all the way up to the next level around, $10. So just a stock to watch. But yeah, Lulu, people starting to eye this here. Value investors, people thinking of, maybe it's gone too low. We're almost there, I think, for a bottom. So if you look back here in 2020, we're at 2020 levels. However, this one here, it wicked a lot lower. It went all the way down here, down to 128. So the question now is, if you want to take a reversal play on this, do you get in here, or do you get in that, or do you wait for it to come down here? It may not go down there. So I'm watching this narrow range here that I've put on the chart because it coincides with this area here and this area here. If you zoom in on it, you'll see this zone I'm talking about, and I just drew those two lines over. So if this holds and we start to see it bouncing up, I'm going to go long on this one. If not, and it starts to break down, I wouldn't touch it until it comes down to the bottom here somewhere. And then this would be like a very nice play off the absolute bottom from like 2020. So I'm going to watch this tomorrow, make a decision on it. Roblox. It's interesting trend here. Yeah, we had this long-term channel, and then it broke below it, and then it just went parallel to it. So trend is still up, even though we had this breakdown back here in August. And I have a position in this already, but it's grinding up very slowly. So just being patient on it, giving it some time. IBM, this one I've been in for a little bit over a week now. We had this resistance level here. I said, once it breaks up, that's your first leg up to go long. We had our resistance here coinciding with back what we had in July. And it's also, a high volume area. So, this was my entry. I didn't take any off. It pulled back. I could have added, but I decided to wait it out. So next target's going to be here, this green line, which, is the previous resistance. And then we have this big gap up here. So, if this pops, it could go all the way up to fill the gap to 279 or close to it. I could technically still add into this tomorrow if we see this moving up. It could moonshot up here. This would be absolutely beautiful, especially as an options play. We do have one more level. I just gonna want to mark off here because this could act as a resistance level, this zone right there. All right. Next up, Palo Alto. A lot of crazy wicking going on here, but when you zoom out big picture, we're up on this side, and you zoom out even more. This is what looks to me like a pretty clean reverse head and shoulders. And this is, this trend means, you're going to break up higher. So, maybe like 230s could get all the way up here. I have a opening position in this. So. CoreWeave, this one is I closed this one out. I gave this setup to you guys, I think maybe in my very first video last week. So we have a double bottom here, and at the same time we have this trend line going all the way up. It touches here, and then it went through there. And then we have one from up here to these tops down. I called the entry down at $93, and as it just popped right through, I figured that this zone right here, this little pocket down here where, these two lines intersect, this is probably where the most resistance is going to happen. So I exited all the position here at 123. It came down. Could have been an opportunity to go up for a second try, but I have not attempted it. Right now, I'm just going to wait to see, is it able to break up into this area here? Or if it's just going to trickle down, or if it's going to go sideways. Probably give it one or two more candles and you'll have a better idea. But I would favor movement to the upside to the 148 level. 146, 148, yeah. This would be our next level. So I'm just going to watch it, decide if it's worth getting back into or not. Meta, nice, sideways action. But, we had a low, we made a high, we made a higher low, I made another high. So this is a fairly constructive pattern. So, the logical next move would be to the upside here. Datadog. Pretty awesome stock in terms of volatility. I really like this one, and we've been moving up quite a bit. So it's only appropriate that we have a big pullback to follow it. And, we've just been going sideways here. Curious here if we do a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, to the bottom, and see where our targets are. Yeah, we could get to, probably 170 if we can break out from, I'll show you in just a sec. All right. If we can break out from this level and this level here. So this is your resistance zone, 145 to 149. Also, got to watch this one. So you got a lot of different levels here that could act as resistance, but it's still in an uptrend. And, I took a small position in it, see how it's going to play out. I will reassess when I see how it behaves when it gets up here. If it chops down, it comes down, or if it breaks through. All right, let's do Circle. This one was a wild one to ride up and a pretty wild one to ride down. Now, do we have a bottom? It is looking like it. I did not pick any up yet. I just had too many open positions, but you'll see here that we have a support level that was down here. And as we just kept dipping down below, we just said, okay, let's just watch that level, see if it reacts or if it dips through. If it dips through, I mean, you're staring at the abyss down here. You wouldn't want to touch it, but it has reacted and it is holding above the 13 and 21 EMA. Above it here, we have the 50. I think this is looking good. I just want to see it open a little bit higher here. Just, 143. And I think this may be worth a pop up to 186. So we'll see. Like I said, lots of great setups happening right now. We're going to see a lot moving tomorrow. There will be a lot of action. All right, guys, last but not least, crypto. I don't want to forget about that. Here's your total market cap for crypto. Long-term channel upward, and then we have this green line here, which is a very long-term trend line from 2021 through this point. And then, when we got here, it kind of slowed down a bit. Like we popped above it, came back down, popped above it. But, now we went above it and then we retested and we're holding. Once we flip this green line, this is going to be probably a big deal for crypto because you're breaking a multi-year trend line. And when you do that, that signals that this could be a parabolic move to the upside. Yeah, I've been hearing people call $9 trillion targets on crypto. I'm not going to go that far, but it's looking good. It's looking pretty good. Bitcoin, I did pick up some options on IBIT. We are at resistance here, but if we get through this, Look at how big this volume node is, this volume is here. This is your, this is the big hurdle. Once you get above this, I think these levels up here are just gonna, it's gonna rip right through it. It's not gonna care about these. This is the big one right here, because we got beaten so bad down, and then everybody said it's over, which usually is the bottom, and then it goes up. Yeah, so Ethereum a little bit more erratic. We were in this channel, it broke out of it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. This is the trend line to watch here. As long as we're holding this, Ethereum, very bullish. We get below it, then we got trouble, but it's holding. I think Ethereum is gonna go. So that's one more reason I loaded up on BMNR. Quick look at Chainlink. Very constructive pattern. We just need to break 27, then it's off to 33, 52, and 68. This is my target on Chainlink. I do have a decent bag of it. Cardano, similar to Chainlink, just a little bit more and a little bit more volatile. But that's about it. I think I gave you guys a whole bunch of setups. If you guys found this helpful, do me a favor. This is a new channel, and I assume if you made it this far, the information must have been helpful. So give me a subscribe so I know that I should keep pumping more of this out. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down so I know to just quit. All right, guys. Peace and love. I'll see you soon.